yeah.
Don't worry about it. I know Brandon comes back. He don't know what buttons to press anymore. Anyway, open for.
Just threw me under the bus once again.
At least I do it to your face, not just when you're gone. All righty. Sorry, Bernie says I'm so hot because I'm wearing a sweater again. Okay, we don't have.
Why do you continue to wear one then if you get hot in the middle of the show?
Huh? It has nothing to do with these.
Doesn't Albert Einstein have a theory about that?
You heard? It has nothing to do with these, right?
Yeah.
All crack-ons that are spiced up, huh? Anyway, great to have you with us. A little slow start, but hey, we'll have a fast finish, I promise you. Anyway, last night, by the way, Edwards, only way we're going to stabilize our state if we all come together. You know what he's saying, huh? The only way we're going to stabilize the state is people are willing to pay a hell of a lot more taxes. That's it. Jay Darden crying the other day about needing more taxes as well. I'll get to all that as the program unfolds. And by the way, Bob Mann, dirty man, you ready? Trump isn't ready to be president, and that's dangerous. Bob Mann, who writes for the New Orleans Times-Picayune, and global warming. Oh, by the way, global warming protesters met with bitter cold snow. That's why they changed it to climate change. It got ridiculous. And the planet is burning. Would somebody give me another coat? I'm cold. But last night, this whole thing with this 3rd Congressional District is ridiculous. They have a debate last night. And little Scotty showed up. And little Scotty, for an hour, did the same thing he's been doing. All the money, all the fame, everything. And what does he do? Pound, pound, pound. 30 years in public service and has nothing, absolutely nothing to say positive about his record. It all goes back to something they created with a lawsuit on the child support. They created it with his ex-wife after he was in a runoff, and they still running on that. Because after 30 years, we have nothing to talk about. Now, Brandon, do you have that thing ready to go for me?
Not yet.
Okay, tell me when you're ready. Okay, I'm going to send y'all. The Dead Pelican probably summed this up the best. If you go to thedeadpelican.com, see the headlines of the Dead Pelican about this race. It says it all. Number 2, click it, read the story. Number 3, click it and watch the audio, video of the last question posed in this race. When they were simply asked, say something nice about each other if they're going to Washington. And Brandon's going to get it because I'm going to play it for you. And guess what? Clay Higgins stood there and said something very nice about little Scotty. Because little Scotty, who's still playing in the little leagues, been bombing Clay Higgins, outspent the money 151-4, had everything going for him, beating this man to pieces like a yard dog. His whole campaign's been on one thing they had to create and manufacture. Okay? They had to manufacture this thing through Timmy Teeple, Jindal, Angel, and Faircloth. They're still running on the same thing of hate, hate, hate. The nastiest. You know what, folks? I say this because I'm talking to people in public. I'm talking to people all over this area. And people that even like Scott are telling me this. And the guy can't say nothing nice. So they asked the question. Brandon, you have it ready to go?
Yep, I have the full clip ready.
Okay, here's the deal. This was the end of the deal. I want you to listen to the question. And basically, all he's trying to get them to do is say something nice about each other. And Higgins is first. Clay Higgins is first. And listen to his response. And then listen to little Scotty, who's bitter as hell, that because of his name, they're not giving him another election. He's having to earn it, and he has all the money. He's been the most negative, ugly thing I've ever seen. 30 years of politics, hadn't run one positive ad. And listen to his response. Here we go.
Thanks, Jim. This question comes from Cody Dunstan. Name one positive thing your opponent would bring to the table if elected. No rebuttals for this question. We'll start with Mr. Higgins. You have 2 minutes.
I would say that the kindest thing I can say about Mr. Angel is Mrs. Angel. You know, what a blessing it is for each of us to have at this time in our life. Loving, supportive, encouraging, patient wives that understand the struggle that we're in. Listen, this is not an easy thing, man. this political realm. I'd pretty much rather be having live rounds fired at me than has happened over the last few months.
Mr. Angel, 2 minutes. The positives if Mr. Higgins is elected.
What might happen if Mr. Higgins, what good thing could come out of Mr. Higgins being elected to Congress? I think a couple things. I think when we take a look at Louisiana's dark political past, there's been some concerns about whether or not public employees receiving cash for getting paid on the job. We need to bring more attention to that. That would be something I think that we could bring more attention to. I certainly believe that the non-payment of child support by public employees would be something that would perhaps take center stage on a national spotlight. And we might be able to get some policy reforms as a result of that.
That was Scott Angel giving such a positive, loving statement after the man he's beat the hell out of, that he wanted everybody to think he's a scumbag, he's lower than me. And that's his freaking response. Excuse my French. That's his response? That's his response, to bring back the issue that all started with and the issue that was created by them. That 30 years of service. 30 years of service, and that's all a man can say and do. 30 years. Because it's not been service to you. It's been service to himself. 30 years. And the question was so simple. All you had to do was answer the question. Look, I could come up with nice things to say about Scott Angel. I could come up with nice things to say about Barack Obama. I could come up with nice things to say about Hillary Clinton. I didn't say it wouldn't be hard, but I could come up with a few nice things to say about Hillary. The question was simple. Hey, in this election that Scott has tried to ruin somebody's life, what can you say nice? He goes back to the same issue I'll say they created. It's so frustrating to watch elected officials that hang around too long. To me, see, this is what's happened, folks. Little Scotty, let me just give you a little history of Little Scotty. Little Scotty's been handed everything to him. He was a police jury or a councilman at 25. His dad had a great name. I've heard a lot of people talk about his dad. And he lived on that name. Then he was a parish president because of his dad. Then he became the head of natural resources under Bobby Jindal, handed to him again. He got to be a lieutenant governor for 6 months, handed to him again. He ran for public service commission, he had all the money, everybody believed that you got to watch this guy, handed to him again. So Scotty's been playing in the Little League. Little leaguers, they hit the ball to Little leaguers in left field, and the ball goes through his legs, and he starts crying. You run out there and say, hey, little Scotty, it's okay. What's wrong? I didn't want to miss the ball. So Scotty's been playing in Little Leagues. Steps up to the major leagues last year in the governor's race, Yankee Stadium. They hit a ball to him. David Vitter said some things about him, and he couldn't handle it. He did the same thing in the last debate. He told people to go look at the website of this woman that's claiming to be David Vitter, has a baby under Vitter. And he said, I don't know what to believe. Here's the website. And he wanted it printed. And that lady had been discredited by everybody in the press. That's why you never saw nothing on it. Trust me, they would have used it against Vitter. They couldn't. But old little Scotty playing in the major leagues and crying that Vitter was beating him up. So what happened? He's in the major leagues. He's playing left field. He's a little leaguer playing left field. And they hit the ball, and it goes through his legs. And he starts crying in front of 70,000 people and 20 million people watching. And they're running out there, want to know why little Scott. What is wrong, man? You're in the major leagues now. You're in the big time. You're in the big ball game. You're big boy. Put your big boy pants on. What happened? He hit it too hard. Little league. This is a little league guy who's crying. And what does he do? He's in the major leagues. He's got all the money. Everybody knows him. He thinks everybody loves him. And he pounds a candidate into the ground. And folks, that tells me he's probably not winning today. I didn't say he couldn't win. But he's still crying like he's a little league baseball player and the ball went under his legs. And he can't say nothing positive about Higgins, not one thing. The man was gracious enough to talk about his wife and say, he's got some political experience and all. He can't say one thing, and he's done all the negative, hateful advertisement. Unbelievable. that you can get up and make a total ass out yourself like that. That's a big A. We'll take a break. I'm going to play it again when I get back. Your comments are welcome. It's open forum Friday. If I was the Higgins people, I'd be so pumped up about going vote. I'd be pumped up. I would be Trump type. I would. But I already voted. We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
And regardless of what Moon said earlier, we are live on Facebook. All the right buttons were pressed. They are seeing your face all over Facebook.
Where are they getting it from? I don't see it.
Bernie, we're watching it right now, aren't we?
All right, let me ask you a question. What did that do? What did that do?
I hope you didn't do.
Oh, no, I can turn it back on. I'll show it to you, Brandon. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Hey, folks, go vote tomorrow. It's all about the turnout now. It's really not about polls, but I'm going to give you some of that, too. Last night, actually a ridiculous debate, and nobody saw it. I can't find nobody that saw it, but the people that saw it came away from it just like I kind of did, especially at the end. You know, and you're asked to say something nice. You're asked to say something nice. Hey, Scott Angel's a really nice guy. He's a funny guy. He's a lot of fun to be around. He gives a great speech. Okay, I never met his beautiful bride. I heard she's a super lady. It's easy. This is simple. He could have said something nice, and he chose not to because he wanted to stick to the message. I'm getting my rear end crushed. And I need help. And the only way to beat this guy is to run the guy into the ground. Let me back up a little bit. Brandon, you probably won't remember this, but in the 5th Congressional District, Timmy Teeple, who ran Bobby Jindal into the ground, who, by the way, didn't help Bustani. Didn't help him at all because he endorsed Angel. That loss. Okay? Neil Raza was running with a chance to be the next congressman, and Teeple ran exactly the same type campaign. I'm going to bury his opponent, and that's all I'm going to do. And he lost, I think it was 61-39 or 60-40, something like that. And his Angel went to Timmy Teeple, and they still running the same deal. Oh, we got a tape. Nothing about it. Look what I've done. He never reached out. And let me tell you why it was very similar, Brandon. You remember the first round? Angel was running ads with his beautiful little grandkids. He's just walking around, cute little guy. I take him that was the grandbabies. Okay? Beautiful little girls. Where was that commercial this time? Neil Raza did the same thing. Neil Raza was running a commercial with his wife holding a grocery bag, driving his old pickup truck. It was some neat ass. Getting a runoff. Knew you were getting crushed. But that 28% showing, doing this I mean, look, I watched the 5th Congressional race, and I'm watching this one. And I'm sitting here just cringe that you can't say nothing nice about anybody. Brandon, let's do this one more time. Let's play it. I'm going to play the tape. I want you to listen to it real close. This is the last question. And Angel, watch how Angel leaves this open at the end. I'm going to play this one more time.
Cody Dunston, name one positive thing your opponent would bring to the table if elected. No rebuttals for this question. We'll start with Mr. Higgins. You have 2 minutes.
I would say that the kindest thing I can say about Mr. Angel is Mrs. Angel. You know, what a blessing it is for each of us to have at this time in our life. Loving, supportive, encouraging, patient wives that understand the struggle that we're in. Listen, this is not an easy thing, man, this political realm. I'd pretty much rather be having live rounds fired at me than has happened over the last few months.
Mr. Angel, 2 minutes. The positives if Mr. Higgins is elected.
What might happen if Mr. Higgins, what good thing could come out of Mr. Higgins being elected to Congress? I think a couple things. I think when we take a look at Louisiana's dark political past, there's been some concerns about whether or not public employees receiving cash for getting paid on the job. We need to bring more attention to that. That would be something I think that we could bring more attention to. I certainly believe that the non-payment of child support by public employees would be something that would perhaps take center stage on a national spotlight. And we might be able to get some policy reforms as a result of that.
Yeah. Yeah, folks, that was so nice of him. Wasn't it, though? I mean, 30 years of service coming down to one nice question. And the man with all the money is still slinging mud. By the way, go to my website, Moon Griffon, Facebook. Go to my Facebook, Moon Griffon. I'll go to The Dead Pelican. TheDeadPelican.com. Headlines. Read it. Look at it for yourself, folks. I'm just, once again, being honest with what's going on here. We'll take a break. Be right back. Bananas. How y'all all? Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Telling the truth, even when it hurts. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. By the way, I got a special guest in the house, 9:06 on Monday. You don't want to miss it. And Brandon's going to gain some weight. I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, man. I always do when he comes by.
Wow. Anyway, let's see. That's 94. Somebody just emailed me. Me and my family watched the debate. It was sickening. Captain Higgins could have said so much, but instead exercised restraint. The one thing he didn't reply was that after Captain Higgins said nice things about Miss Angel spent time telling us about how long he's been married and how great he was. Nope, never got to a nice word for Captain Higgins. I would never vote for Angel after this debate. Thanks for airing all the sure pray for Angel. Fails enormously. If you saw that or heard that, folks, I just wonder why Angel people don't get it. Why can you watch that and go, oh, yeah, keep going, yeah. Nasty, ugly what he's done. With all the money. And you got all the money, you got all the name records, you got all that, and you got to act like that. No class. That's just unclassy. No character. None. So if he wins the election, he won by beating somebody down, because what are you voting for? All right. Brandy got another one coming in, but I do want to give out one other thing. This is all about turnout. 2 polls released. One has Higgins up 7. Another one has him up 8. Okay? Now, one of these polls, by the way, I know you saw a poll was 49-46, Higgins over Angel, but they figured leaning votes. That's undecided. Those people aren't going to vote. I'm telling you what the race is at. It's 7-8 points. Now, the reason I say that is it's all about voter turnout because that's pretty close to the margin of error. Okay, but here's the good thing. In one of the poll that was released yesterday with had Kennedy and had the other race. Higgins was up double digits with Republican voters and double digits with independents. You know what Scott's main, and this is the poll. I'll pull the dang thing up, folks. I got it right here. I just didn't have a chance to go through the whole problem. Here it is. But here's the funny thing about it. You got to read down into the numbers. Okay? And all this lean-to stuff means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's who's going to vote. But he has a double-digit lead with, and I'm reading the report, double-digit lead among registered Republicans and independents. What is Scott Angel leading into? You ready? Democrats. He's winning the Democrat vote by more than 25%. Why? He went home to his base. That's what's going on. But you got to read into the thing because these posters, they put some stuff out. They put lean to. Lean to is, if I had to vote, I'd vote for Scott. I had to vote, I'd vote for Higgins. Lean to means nothing. I know a lot of people lean to and mean to that ain't going to vote tomorrow. If I watch this tape of this deal last night at the end of it, if that don't pump the Higgins people up, nothing will.
If you're not excited about this race, you're not gonna go vote.
Brandon, never easily put, well said, right on the money. Okay, who's excited about the race? Well, I think the Trump Higgins people are. That's who I think's excited, Brandon. The people that really believe that Captain Higgins is a guy, so they're the ones that definitely going to go vote. Now, who has the money to get the vote out? Who has all the machine? It's always been Angel. That's why I'm saying, you go vote. If you look at these polls, I tell you what, 3rd Congressional District, 48% were Republicans. It was 39 or 40% were Democrats. Well, if he's winning 2-1, see, the people that are going to vote are going to be middle of the road to the right. That's why you see Scott going to churches. Acting like, oh, look at me. Because he knows who's going to vote. Look, I've been honest. I've been honest about the whole thing. When I saw the end of that debate, I just thought, my God. I know some other inside stuff dealing with the so-called video they threw out there. How did they get a video? All a ball game, inside politics, win at any cost. Been a lot of people put millions and millions of dollars in Angel. But here's the funny thing I was told this during this last election. All these elitists, Republican elitists, Mike Michel, Michel had a big fundraiser for him. All these elitists, they have one vote. On election day, the poorest guy out there to the richest guy, and everybody in between has one vote. And that's what they don't understand. This whole election process, Trump winning everything, has been a different process. It's a different type voter going out there to vote. I'm not telling you who's going to win. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you some numbers to go on. But why does somebody with the name recognition and all the money got to earn somebody to build themselves up? That's pretty sad. It's no class, no character. Ann in Lafayette will start with Ann. Ann, how you doing? Open Forum Friday.
Hello. I am really fed up with the dirty pool that's been played. I think Trump and needs new people in there who are going to be able to think for themselves and also to support and be loyal to him. That is not Angel. And I think you have a person that is not Angel, I believe.
No, Scott's one of the things I've noticed about him and watching him, he's not his own man. Blanco's own him, the generals own him, Timmy Tebow owns him, these money people own him, and he's not his own man. He's never been his own man in politics. Every vote he makes, I know people on the Public Service Commission, I saw you put out a deal with his good friend Clyde Holloway, but I know some deep down stuff because I really knew Clyde Holloway. And every vote Angel takes is based on what's best for me. Now that's a fact. It's not based on let me do what's right, let me do what's best, and I haven't fun. It's how can I do this that'll help me in my next election? And I'm just telling you, at the end of this debate, you can't. Let me tell you something, man. If let's say me and you just didn't like each other, but I'm on a debate and somebody asked me to say something nice about you, there's something nice about you even through my eyes, and there would be something nice about me even through your eyes. And all you had to do was say something. He did say, well, like the wife thing, but he went right back to the issue they created right after Clay got in a runoff. That's a fact. That's when it was created. So anyway, by the way, you got a very good assessment. You did a very good job of assessing what's going on. Here's the problem they got. People see through that now. And that's the problem the Angel team has. They know it. And that's why we still nasty and still ugly and still hateful. The word I got is that there was debates planned for a long time. Angel never wanted to do them. Then all of a sudden, he wanted to do one. Why? So he can do like he did in the last debate in the governor's race. Go look at it. Where he went off the vidder on a website about a woman that had his baby that nobody in the press would pick it up in the Times-Picayune, but he put the website out there. I said, I don't know what's true. Here's the website. Go look at it, because that's who he is. He got in the big leagues. He's still crying. They hit the ball too hard to him. It went under his legs. This ain't Little League anymore. But in Little League, he was the king. Then when he came up to bat, they let him bunt the ball, and they gave him a home run so he could be happy. Anyway, thanks for the call. Appreciate the call. Let's move on. Betty in Lafayette. How you doing, Betty?
I'm doing fine, Moon. I was listening to the 5 o'clock thing with Dr. John and whoever the other day, and someone was calling in about Dr. John being very critical of Clay Higgins. And they had said that they had listened to you, and you had some facts about Scott that, were not the greatest in the world or whatever. And he says, well, my cousin Moon over here has his own agenda. I wish that you would, I know that you've said it before because I listened to you also, but wish you would lay out all the things that you know for sure that Scott has done that's underhanded or whatever to the people who are listening that may change their vote or may.
Betty, I don't. To be honest with you, Betty, I don't have to lay out anything. I think if Scott gets beat, people are smart enough to see what they saw. I don't have to. My case is that this has been almost an unfair race since day one. If Scott would have ran as a Democrat, that's his voting base, and Higgins had 20% more money, he'd win by 20%. He may not win at all. I don't know. We're going to see who goes vote. But as far as Dr. Sutherland, we're good friends, and he's got opinion, I got mine. He don't agree with me all the time, and guess what? I don't agree with him all the time either. And we're never going to agree on anything. And he really likes Scott. I don't have anything against Scott. I'm watching this from a political eyes. I'm watching this from a spiritual eyes. I'm not watching this from any other eyes except the truth. And so the truth is this. People are going to go vote. They've seen Scott for 30 years, okay? If Scott Angel wins it, he'll be the congressman. I wish him the best of luck, and it's so long. Do whatever you want to do. So let's just see what happens. I just don't think it's important. But as far as me and Dr. Sutherland, we're friends. We always will be friends, but we will never, ever agree 100%. No way. And as far as if he said anything about, I got my agenda is to grow the biggest audience I can, to entertain, have fun, make a good living for my family, and yes, connect the state all over so we can come on this program and talk about things that interest us and to have a lot of fun doing it. It's always been my agenda since day one. The good Lord put me here. When he wants me off, I'm gone, and ain't a thing I can do about it.
I think your agenda is, I'm thinking your agenda is what's best for Louisiana and what's best for the country.
Well,
I've never heard you,
Well, Miss Betty, can I say this? Thank you. Because in all fairness, if you listen to me, I've challenged Republicans as hard as Democrats and probably harder.
Absolutely.
And I've challenged Bobby Jindal when I was a fan of him. Okay? Absolutely. And the reason I do that is they say one thing and do something else. I've watched this 3rd Congressional District. I watched a man with all the money cry like a baby when Vitter beat him up. But soon as he was the king, soon as he had the most money, soon as he can be ugly and nasty, he was. And he's crying about stuff coming to him. I'm telling y'all, vote how you want to vote. I just pray people will go vote. My agenda is exact. Your words mean a lot to me. They really, really do, because I know who I am. I'm not fake. And by the way, if you can find my paid political hack, tell them they owe me a lot of money. A lot of money. God bless you. Thank you, Miss Betty. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Hey, y'all. This is full moon Griffon. Let me ask you something.
Is it personal?
It's the day before the election. You watched the debate last night?
I watched some. I got the end of it.
All right. I caught the last. I missed the first 20 minutes. I actually forgot it was on. And then
are you going to ask me the same thing they asked at the end of the day, or can you say something nice about Scott?
I'm going to be the oracle, okay? Now, you know I'm not voting for Higgins, okay? You know that. But having said that, I'm going to tell you.
And I still like you.
I know.
See, right there.
But having said that, Higgins is going to win tomorrow.
All right. You heard that prediction? You heard that prediction. I want to hold it to him because I'm going to buy him lunch next
I'm going to say by 4 to 6 points. It's going to be
on tape, by the way.
No, on tape. You on tape.
I'm going to say by 4 to 6. 4 minimum. It's going to be 52-48, 53-47. It might be bigger. I'm telling, and again, I'm not voting for the man.
By the way, I will say this about you, Scott. You've been saying that for about 3 weeks.
Yep.
You've been saying it for 3 weeks. I mean, I'm going to give you that. But all I'm going to tell you is, I always say in an election like this, because we don't know what numbers are, in the 3rd Congressional District when Bustani ran against Landry, 19% showed up.
Yep.
That changes everything. Now, I think it's closer to 25 to 30 because you got to throw the Senate race in. They didn't have a Senate race last time. So, but that would be low numbers.
And then here's my problem with Higgins going to Washington. He's going to be such a fish out of water. He's going to do that righteous indignation.
Can I tell you honestly, though?
No, but you know how he did on the debate last night? He started getting forceful, and he started kind of getting preachy. They are going to laugh at him in the halls of Congress.
Well, you don't think they're going to laugh at the Boudreaux and the Sheramies and the gentlemen? They can't even understand you?
At least Angel, and this is why I'm voting for him. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the game.
Scott, you just pissed off all the Higgins people, and the reason you pissed them off is they tired of the game.
I know.
They tired of the game.
Here's the problem with Clay. Clay's going to get up there, and
you're wrong. I make a prediction. If he wins, that's a big if. If he wins, you won't hear anything except he'll be around here, because when you won a 435 with no clout, and Angel will have no clout too, you're not going to even hear anything.
But there's going to be a bill And Higgins is going to be like, I can't vote for that bill because it's against my good conscience. And the Speaker of the House with the majority whip's going to go, well, if you don't vote for that bill, you ain't getting this bridge or this flood relief or this road money.
You playing right into it because the people that wanted Trump in are trying to say we don't want no more of that crap.
So what's Higgins going to do? And we can talk about this Monday after he wins. Again, I'm not voting for him, but he's going to win. So what's Higgins going to do when the majority whip says, if you don't vote for this bill,
you know who the majority whip is? You know who the majority whip is?
No, I have no idea.
Well, then I'm getting ready to blow you away. Louisiana Steve Scalise. So guess what? Guess what? They're not going to whip his own person. See, Scott, you just helped Higgins again. As a matter of fact, this is the Moon and Scott show. For now, you're taking my point.
Okay, or the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House says, if you don't vote for this omnibus bill or whatever it is,
but here's the
you
thing.
Ain't getting flood relief. The third district ain't getting that bridge.
I got to give you one more little thing on that.
Oh, jeez.
You know who the majority whip works for? Speaker of the House.
Right, exactly.
He's going to say, look, that guy's in Lafayette where it rained at, and the Speaker going to say, okay. Okay, I'll see you Monday. I'll see you Monday. We'll see if you're right. If Scott's right, I'll buy him lunch.
Y'all are also making good points for people that believe that neither candidate deserves their vote, by the way.
Well, and for me, it's not lesser of two evils. I don't think either one of them's evil. But it's like, I voted for Guyman the first time around. I don't want to vote for either one of these guys.
All right. Thanks. But remember what I told you? The majority whip was going to whip up and say, look, vote with us.
And I'll be here Monday because you're going to have that banana cream pie.
No. We don't one step. I can't tell you. It's a surprise. I'll tell you off the air, but I can't tell you. Brandon will whisper in your ear, but I'm not telling my audience.
I'm not whispering in his ear.
Well, don't get that close.
There better be something with bananas here.
All right, well, I'm going to let Brandon turn his mic off, whisper to him, and Brandon knows. All right, let's take, who we got on there? I didn't even get to the name
We've got Daniel from Youngsville.
All right, Daniel from Youngsville. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, Moon. Hey, Bustani went to Congress, and he voted right along with them, right along their lines. And, he voted to raise our debt limit 3 times. He voted right along for Obamacare.
I know.
And guess what? He's not there no more. We rejected that.
Well, what happened, when Bustani endorsed Scott Angel because of Timmy Tebow, I wonder how much that hurt him because I'm going to tell you, I'm in town. I'm in the district, all over the district, and visiting with people all the time just through what I do for a living. And I heard a lot of people say when he endorsed Angel, that was it for me. And Bustani's a good guy, and he endorsed him, and he lost, and I'm not convinced of anything about this election. I think people need to go vote. All I'm saying is, and the people that are upset with me, with the Angel people, why? You had all the money. You ran all the nasty, negative, hateful things. All I did was say, hey, what about this side of it? Because people do that sometimes, Brandon. They go, well, you didn't point out this. I don't have to. Y'all did. I don't have to point it out.
I got a survey call about 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of strange, but you had to answer, good, better, best type answers. And the survey was, have you been aware? Have you been made aware of the campaigns against Clay Higgins? The ads. And so my answer was, yes, I'm aware of it. It said, are you concerned about him? I said, yes, I'm very concerned about him. It said, how is it going to make you vote for him? And my answer was, it's going to make me vote more for him. You know what I'm saying?
What'd they tell you?
It wasn't a live person. It was an automated deal. But anyway, that whole debate last night, Angel did remind me of somebody. I don't know if you could guess who it is, but she's a nasty woman.
Yeah, I can imagine who you're talking about.
Yeah, he reminded me of a nasty woman. So
yeah,
anyway,
you need to check me out on Facebook and read the story. I'll go to thedeadpelican.com, thedeadpelican.com to check out the slime ball. One more call, Brandon. Yes, sir. You want me to do something?
Yeah, why don't you get to that one call?
All right, Nick in Bro Bridge. How you doing, Nick?
Oh, come on.
We got him in. It didn't work. You're over there flipping fingers at me again. It didn't even work. Go to thedeadpelican.com. And the top of the thing, it says Angel's Dirt Fest, sleazebag politics in the 3rd Congressional District. It's at the headlines of the deadpelican.com, or you can go to my Facebook at Moon Griffon. It's there, and it's got audio with it, showing you what I've been playing at the end of this debate. Why couldn't you just have a little class? Win or lose. Why couldn't we have class? We're in the big leagues now, This ain't little league. Ball goes under your leg, you can cry in little league. Ball goes under your leg in the major leagues, you can't complain that the ball was hit too hard. You can't. Little Scotty needs to understand that.